Well, hello. Welcome to episode 2 of GoWCUS. This is our weekly show leading up to WordCamp US. We're going to talk about everything WordCamp and everything Nashville. If you'd like to ask us a question, either now during the live show or ahead of next week's show, the hashtag is GoWCUS. So feel free to post it there. We are monitoring. And with that, I'm going to start on the left, kick things off with intros, and let Cami introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Cami Chaos. I am a member of the community team. I primarily work with WordCamps to help them make sure that their events go over well. I am the former lead organizer of WordCamp US, former co-lead organizer of WordCamp US, and kind of the WordCamp US liaison this year.
Excellent. Dustin.
Yeah, I'm Dustin Mesa. I work for WP Engine, and I'm on the organizing team as the lead organizer for WordCamp US this year, bringing it to Nashville.
Awesome. Laura?
Hi, I'm Laura Byrne-Cristiano. I'm the lead on the marketing team for WordCamp US this year. I was working for a major nonprofit for about a decade, and now I'm doing freelance marketing, social media, things along those lines.
Great. Raquel?
Hi, I'm Raquel Landefeld. I co-founded WordPress company based out of Phoenix called Mode Effect, and I'm the lead organizer for the community Bazaar for WordCamp US this year, and love building community wherever I am.
Awesome. And I'm Steve Zenkett. I'm the founder of Zeek Interactive. I run the OC WordPress meetup, and I'm the lead organizer of WordCamp OC. And I'm also on the committee for WordCamp US. A couple of things we want to talk about before we get started. I am on the sponsorship committee for WordCamp US. We still have a couple spots left for sponsors. And so if you are interested in sponsoring, you're at a company that was interested in sponsoring, feel free to reach out to me, and I can help you out with that. We've sold all the large booths, like we mentioned last week. We have a couple of medium-sized booths left and some small booths. So if you're interested, I would highly recommend that you jump on that now. Laura?
Yeah, no, it's a great opportunity to give back to the WordPress community. You're going to meet over about 2,000 people, 2,000 to 2,500. Great chance to really get involved with community and really give back. And we want to thank those sponsors because that is absolutely how we are able to keep our ticket prices low. Speaking of those tickets, they're $40 each, and it's a fantastic deal for 3 days of the conference. That's 2 days of speaker sessions, plus our contributor day, meals, and on top of that, brings us up to our next item, which is the after party, which we just announced, I think yesterday, actually, or maybe 2 days ago. And it is in this amazing location. Dustin, I know you were key in getting this place picked. Could you tell everybody about our after party location?
Definitely. I'm so excited. I mean, I'm like a kid again when I walk into this place. So it's the Adventure Science Center, right outside of downtown, and this is just like an adult's playground. I loved it when we did the tour to kind of tour the venue. There were multiple times where they would turn around and I was gone because I was doing something, playing something. You can lift a car. It was so cool oh yeah. So just an amazing place, very, very big, so many cool things to do. You can do a spacewalk, a moonwalk. They have a planetarium, lots of games, lots of head-to-head games, which I think is awesome. A 3-story like playscape, adult size, where you can climb up. There's a slide that like goes down. I mean, it just blew me away, everything they had there. So I am so excited. It is going to be so much fun.
Are you excited? I can't really tell.
Right? I just looked at it, and to me, it just looks like every Nickelodeon show of the 90s, right? Like it's definitely got that vibe, right?
For sure.
The other thing that some people were asking on Twitter was, well, is like certain areas are for kids? Like, is it like, no, guys, it's for us. We do get to climb all over it. In case you're not sure, there is a picture of Dustin in said climbing gym sorry, Dustin, on the WordCamp US post. You'll see Dustin's head poking up out of the climbing gym. Just look underneath Wapu, who is also having fun on the gym, and you will indeed see Dustin there. The other thing too to mention is we also have full access to the planetarium. which is awesome. I can't even talk today. I don't know why. Maybe not enough caffeine. I'm not sure.
That's all
Dustin,
right.
before I get myself into more trouble, could you just talk briefly about the planetarium?
Yes, so they gave us a preview of the planetarium, and it's so awesome. They recently upgraded it. So in the past, they could show, it was somewhere around like 1.1 million stars. They can now show 6 billion stars. So
That's it?
huge upgrade. Yeah. And they get daily uploads from NASA on things that were discovered. So we were there, and a few days before, this new area of space had been discovered, and they're like, "Do you want to go there?" And he keyed it in, and like we traveled all the way there. It was just so great, and I mean, great experience. And we've got them doing 20-minute shows so that everybody can get in. So if you are a fan of the planetarium, when you get there, maybe grab a drink, grab a bite, get in line. Yeah, Steve.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a little preview on some of the things coming up at WordCamp, but there's even a more cool feature that we're adding this year, and Raquel is our guru of all things Community Bazaar. So Raquel, could you give us an idea about what is this Community Bazaar thing we're speaking of?
The Community Bazaar is going to be, at the event, a gathering of showcasing all of our communities, at least as much as you guys want to be involved with. The local communities showing off what they do, how they do it, the ones that do it well, and just getting ideas from each other. Hopefully, the idea is that smaller communities, or maybe communities that haven't fully started yet, will get lots of ideas on what to do and what not to do and things like that. And then leading up to the event, we're going to do spotlights online that showcase all of our communities. Hopefully, as soon as we get more applicants and all that, we'll be shooting those out, and it'll be great. I'm excited for it.
Cool. Cami, I know we have a big hall and a variety of different locations for WordCamp US. Can you talk a little bit about like where our Community Bazaar is going to be situated and who else you may find in the area nearby?
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that Community Bazaar was right in the center of everything. So it's going to be in our largest feature room. It's going to be there with the Happiness Bar and with the swag store and with all of our amazing sponsors. So, and of course with snacks and coffee, because everyone needs snacks and coffee. And so as members of the community teams who are represented, of the local meetups that are represented, they can come in and hang out for a little while. They can hang out for a long while. And you can come and meet people who are doing interesting things within their community while you swing by all the sponsor booths and grab some awesome swag and a cup of coffee.
Awesome.
Which is, yeah, that's so amazingly cool. And then I'm presuming also there is a community table that's there also. So as much as we want folks to enjoy their local community and definitely get involved in their local community, there'll also be a table for the we
are hoping that there's going to be a table located in the nearby area that is kind of our get involved table. It's where we talk to people who might want to be more involved in the open source project. And the exact location of that is currently TBD, but it would surprise me if it weren't in that area as well.
Terrific. I know that all of us has sort of our different WordPress community origin story. We all found WordPress and we found community in a different way. I know I was probably one of the early adopters of WordPress, but one of the last people to get involved with community. I started my first WordPress site in 2006. And I don't think I went to my first WordCamp or community event until 2014.
Shame.
And I'll tell you why. And it's, yeah. Well, actually, maybe I'll kick off. Well, yeah, I'll tell you why. The reason was I legitimately thought, oh, it's just for people who are developers. I'm not a coder. There's no place for me. Why would I want to do this? And my husband was constantly telling me, no, it's not that. It's not that. You should come. And I rolled him for almost a decade, which is just sad and pathetic. But I did go eventually, and I'm like, no, you idiot, you should have done this earlier. Like there are so many places for people who don't code or, know very little limited HTML. And I'm really, really glad I did. I've met so many amazing people and gotten so many great tips and tricks on how to do things better, whether you're a content creator, into marketing, whatever you're doing. So how about everybody else? Steve, how about you? How did you first get involved in community?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've talked about this topic quite a bit. I'm fortunate because Southern California is such a great community. We've got really three major areas here. We've got LA, Orange County, San Diego. Each has its own WordCamp, and they're all fantastic WordCamps. I founded the meetup with my business partner at the time, Jeff Turner, about 8 years ago. That's how long the OC meetup has been running. And we founded it based on the idea of referring work to other companies. We had too much on our plate. We were looking for resources, and we just didn't have them in Orange County. And so that was sort of the basis of our community, and that really just turned into open sharing. And our community is really very much about sharing ideas, sharing business, collaborating on business, and it really has grown into something very special here in Orange County.
Raquel, how about you? Since you are our guru for our community bazaar, how did you first get involved in community?
Yeah, my first WordCamp, I actually just attended the after party, which was WordCamp San Diego 2012. I had started going to WordCamps with my husband, who's also my business partner, but wasn't, kind of like you, Laura, just wasn't going there yet. And then that after party, man, I was sucked in. I couldn't believe the level of interest that others were giving me being a noob. And most of the time I'm used to kind of the peacocking or, just pretentiousness of humans. And I just was mind blown that people were so genuinely interested in you and listening to you. And Steve, I know you know everybody that was there, and you were there. Yep. And I just couldn't believe it. And I just wanted more and more and more, and actually got really involved with the national level of WordCamps. And a couple years later, really started focusing on my local community, which is Phoenix. And now I'm heavily involved with that and help run WordCamp Phoenix. And it's tons of fun. And I just love it. I love humans. They're amazing.
It's fantastic. Dustin, how about you? How did you first get involved with community?
Yeah, so I was working for WP Engine, and I actually didn't use WordPress at all before I worked at WP Engine. I'd never even logged in, and so I didn't really know much about WordPress. And I was there to help build out a support team, and so I didn't need to know a ton about WordPress or the community. But one of our core values was committed to give back. And I stopped and I kind of took a look at the core values, and I said, I'm fooling myself if I believe I'm living up to that core value. And so I kind of made myself know. I said, hey, I want to get involved a little more. And so WP Engine sent me to WordCamp Chicago, and my first WordCamp ever.
That's where I met you.
That is. So that's part of my story. This is how this all. Oh, so I went there not knowing anybody but the people I went with at WP Engine, not knowing anybody. And so many people came up to us and were like, oh my gosh, we're customers of WP Engine. Who are you? Have I talked to you on chat or what? And I was just blown away by how much people wanted to know more and were excited about being there. And then my flight got canceled, and I was lucky enough to jump a spot on this river architecture tour with kind of a group of the organizers and some of the really heavy community members. And that's where I met Cami. And that night, the river architecture tour, 10 out of 10 on that. That is amazing. Yeah, if you go to Chicago. But that night we ended up, grabbing some drinks. The Spurs won the finals, and I told them that if the Spurs won, I would take them to dinner. And so they did. And so we went to dinner, and then Kimmy and I split an Uber to the airport the next day. And I was hooked. Just like you, Raquel, I was like, I cannot believe how awesome these people are. And then I was on a roll. I started speaking, and then I moved to Nashville, and then I was lucky enough to be a part of this. So yeah, the community to me is, it's priceless. It really is.
Cami, how about you? How did you get involved with community?
I think it all kind of starts for WordCamps for most of us. And for me, it definitely did. I wasn't even using WordPress, but one of my good friends organized the first WordCamp Portland. And it was when WordPress was new. It was that first year that WordCamps were happening outside of San Francisco. And he and another friend said, hey, we really need more volunteers. Can you come and help us out? And I was like, well, I don't know. What is it? And they said, you'll like it a lot better than what you're using. Just switch your blog over and come in the next morning. And so I did. I spent like an hour switching my blog over from Blogger to the self-hosted WordPress blog. And I spent the rest of the next day attending sessions, handing out t-shirts, and helping people with less technical experience than myself moving their blog over. And I have been a part of WordPress ever since. It was kind of every year just WordCamps. And then when I became a single parent, WordPress and my knowledge of WordPress gave me the opportunity to have gainful employment, which eventually led me to work for Automatic, where I am put to work in the open source community. So I heart WordPress and the community.
Awesome. So I guess each one of us has a unique community story, but at the end of it, it's just enthusiasm. It's enthusiasm, it's positivity, it's that willingness to get everybody else involved, get everybody else to jump in. And I think that's one of the best things. I think there are going to be so many newbies at WordCamp US. I think just on a straw poll a couple of times last year, I was on the team that was doing like the live tweeting and things of the sessions. And a couple of the speakers every so often would say, hey, show of hands, how many people here is this your first WordCamp US? Or how many people is this your first WordCamp? And I got to say, every single room I was in, and some of these were lightning talks, and some of these were in like the largest room that was there, like at least a third to a half of the room raised their hand and said, hey, this is my first time here. And I think the Community Bazaar has just such the possibility of getting those people who, are using the software, but they don't know there's something else in community behind this and what they could do to meet up and to do more. So Raquel, Cami, since you guys are our gurus here, do you guys have any more thoughts on getting people kind of onboarded into that community?
I kind of have a big one. Raquel, how many people would you say have applied to be part of the Bazaar, either to be there in person or to share their story just on the site leading up to the event?
We're up to 6 right now.
6.
We got 2 this week, so
very, very soon we are going to reach an amazing point in the WordPress chapter meetup program. We're going to have 500 chapter meetups, and only 6 meetup groups have applied to be part of the Community Bazaar. And that's worldwide, and mostly we're looking our outreach to be like North America, South America, but people, come on, we want to hear those stories. 500 meetup groups, all doing their own thing, all representing WordPress, using WordPress and loving WordPress in unique ways. There's got to be a story there for you to share with us.
Yeah.
I'm bad at math, but I think there's 494 left to apply. Wait, let me get my calculator. Hang on a second.
That might check out.
Yeah.
Well, and I've got to say too, just as Cami, as you said, the whole worldwide thing, it just strikes me that, I mean, the United States being just an incredible melting pot too of cultures and things, and thinking about the upcoming Polyglots translation team, there are probably communities that feature, a Spanish WordPress meetup for people whose maybe that's the language they're more comfortable discussing in, or, we have a rising Haitian and Creole community. It's the same thing. I mean, so many different cultures in the US. It would really be cool to see some of those communities also come up and apply. That would be fantastic.
And don't shy away from applying just because you're not going to be at WordCamp US, because that's what we have a website for.
And that's sort of what's cool about traveling around, going to different WordCamps and going to different meetups. You do see the different nuances and differences in the other communities, and so I think this is a really good chance to expose some of that if you're going to WordCamp.
Yeah, and give us details when you apply. Let us know a quick short story or something super cool and unique about your meetup. The analytics are super helpful, but we also want to know just fun little items you could give us about your community. And have pictures ready. Once we're ready to spotlight you, we'll be asking you for a few pictures that really show off your community.
Cool. So it looks like we're coming up on our time here, but before we wrap up, Dustin, can you tell us who's coming on next week?
Absolutely. So I'm really excited. Just a great guy. You know, talk about enthusiasm. I have seen, you know, I've seen a lot, but he's got a lot of it. His name is Clark Buckner. He's a B2B podcaster here in Nashville, and he's involved with so much of the tech scene in Nashville. And he has been involved. And, you know, I was here in Nashville for probably 3 months before somehow he found out about me, reached out, and wanted me to be on a Nashville podcast. Like, I mean, this guy's great. He just knows everybody. So I'm really excited for us to talk to him, get his perspective about the tech scene in Nashville, talk about what it means to have WordCamp US here in Nashville, you know, and just kind of get to know everybody.
Cool. So definitely come back, folks, next week, same time, which talk about like math skills on the fly here. 12 Eastern, 1
Nope.
Mountain.
12 Pacific, 3 Eastern.
Yeah.
Let's go in the wrong direction. All right. Anyway, don't listen to me. Look at our social. It'll be in the notes with this video, and hopefully we'll catch everybody next week. And apply. If you have not applied for your community yet, you got to be in it.
Do it.
Bye,
All right.
everyone.
See you next week.
Bye, all. Thanks.